Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jocelyn. I am the owner of the business Nocturnal Witchcraft. Just a reminder that everything on my website is 45% off if you use the code YULE45. So that is going until December 25th, and then after that I still have select readings that are about 30% off that you can still book until January 1st. And my refresh bundles will be 50% off starting on December 26th. And I also will say that if you book anything $50 or more during now to December 25th, you can get you will get a exclusive code or coupon to use during the first 2 months of the year. This will not be accessible to everybody, but if you book between now and December 25th and your booking is $50 or more, you will receive an exclusive code to use to get more off during the first 2 months of the year. So yeah, other than that, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. Of course, I have my Woodland Wardens series, the Tarot deck and the Oracle deck. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these, and while I do that, go ahead and take a deep breath in for me. And just clear your mind, clear expectations, clear the stress of the day. Just letting go of all of the anxiety, all of the worry. My cat is making biscuits. He's so cute. Let me shuffle this one more time. Okay, Spirit. What message do you have for this collective today? Okay. Oh, there's 2 cards. Oh, I thought there was a third one at first. I was like, oh no, there's 3. No, there's just 2. So the 8 of Pentacles and the 4 of Arrows. Oh, God. That's pretty, I want to say it's pretty obvious there. You've been feeling very stuck. You've been feeling very stuck because you feel like you're working very, very hard, and you are. You are exhausting yourself to no ends, mentally, emotionally, physically, to achieve your goals. But nothing is moving, nothing is progressing forward. And you don't, like, it's this question of, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm doing this, this, and this, and this. I'm even taking the extra mile to go do this and this. Why am I not seeing results? Why am I stuck? Why is nothing happening? Why is nothing progressing in the way that I think it should? The King of Arrows reversed, aka King of Swords. King of Swords reversed. There is a lack of discernment. There is a lack of clarity. I get the sense that you're not seeing the full picture, or there's something that you're not understanding. Now, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you. Yeah. No, there's not anything wrong with you. There's a piece to the puzzle that you're not really taking into consideration. And with the 9 of Arrows, I can tell that this situation is literally keeping you up stressed at night. You are literally in your head worrying anxious, like, what is happening? What am I doing wrong? Is the only question that keeps popping up in my head. And I have the feeling that the problem of why you're not seeing results, or at least the results that you have been expecting to see at this time, is because you're worrying about it too much. You're focusing way too much on the end goal rather than putting more focus on the journey, how you get to the end goal. Because yes, you should keep the end goal in mind. You should always have that goal there, but you should also be paying attention to the journey, the lessons that it teaches you, the skills that it teaches you, figuring out what is working and what isn't, what makes you feel good and what doesn't, what aligns with you and what doesn't. But we'll see. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. Let me see. Okay. The Ten of Cups. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed. When I look at the Wheel of Fortune, when I would look at the Wheel of Fortune, excuse me, the thing that comes to my head is like, what goes around comes around. The effort that you are putting into whatever it is, whether it's yourself, a job, your life, those efforts, they always come back. What you put out comes back. In matters of timing, that's completely left up to the divine. The timing is completely out of our hands. With the Ten of Cups, you want satisfaction, or at least it seems that way. It feels as though you are wanting a happy, like, satisfying, I almost said simple, maybe even want a simple life. Just something that works, something that is functional, something that is happy and full of love. Particularly like a family or home life. But with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, you seem to be rushing. You're rushing quite a bit, especially with the process. Because it's important that you take your time trying to achieve this goal, because then you risk mistakes if you don't. And I think that is also where the King of Arrows reversed and the Nine of Arrows kind of comes into play. Like, you're not understanding, or it seems as though you are not understanding that this is something that needs to, how am I trying to say this, Spirit? You need to take your time, yes, but you also need to be a lot more attentive in how your actions influence or impact decisions and yourself in general later on. The Four of Cups. You may be holding on to a mindset, an old mindset, that you have to push yourself to the absolute extremes. You have to push and push and push. You have to hustle. You have to grind to get what you need. And that's not always the case. I've always thought that the whole, like, you gotta grind kind of mindset only really works in the short term. Or maybe there are cases where it does help you out in the long term, but then you have side effects um, that lead, like, you have side effects like your health, like you have bad health or something like that, you know? It makes me think of this um, like video that I saw earlier of this girl saying that she was working 2 full-time jobs to retire at 30, but she's working from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed, and she rarely has any time to herself and to actually enjoy life. And that will cause burnout. That can even cause a weakened immune system from the stress. And it's just it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Not to mention, life will have these life will have moments where it just throws shit at you that you're not prepared for, and it alters your plans. It makes that end goal further to reach, which is why it's important that you pay attention to each step. And if something happens, you're not completely thrown off because you're just go, 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 and you're not paying attention, you're not thinking about it. If that makes any sense. Okay. Yeah. 5 of arrows, aka 5 of swords, judgment reversed, and the 8 of wands. There's internal conflict because I feel like it's like you have blinders on, and there's just this fog. You're in a mental fog right now, and it's completely skewing everything. There are times where we think that we're doing everything right, where we're busting our asses to get to where we want to be, and we end up either falling backwards or just completely staying stagnant. And that's because we're getting in our own way. The 8 of Wands confirms that you are rushing. It confirms that Knight of Pentacles reversed, like I said earlier. You are rushing through this. And the Judgment reverse confirms the Knight of Arrows, King of Arrows reverse, my bad. Where there's a lack of clarity, there's a lack of understanding, there's a lack of mental connection towards what you are doing. Again, you know where you want to be. You know the steps that it would take to get there, but you're focusing a whole hell of a lot on the timing, but the timing is not up to you. It is up to spirit. It is up to the divine. And so that plays into another part of trust. Trusting spirit, trusting the divine. Wow, the star at the bottom of the deck. Spiritual guidance. If you are truly fixated on when you are going to get there, ask for spiritual guidance from your guides, your higher self, spirit, whatever you believe in, whatever you connect to the most. Ask for guidance. That is going to help you out significantly here. The sun underneath the star. You will find what you are looking for. when we focus on the timing of everything, and I am so guilty of this, when we focus so much on the timing, we tend to lose track of having trust. We tend to lose trust for the divine. And of course, y'all know me. If you have been in any of my tarot videos, that I gotta adjust everything to make some more room for more cards. But okay. But just learn to trust more. Stop over thinking everything. That's another thing, like when it comes to spell work. When you get spell work, if you're obsessing over the result, how you're gonna get it, when you're gonna get it, it hinders actually receiving the result. You're not allowing the universe to gift it to you, to give you it, because the universe wants to. If you ask, you shall receive. So when you ask for something, whatever it may be, whether that's in the form of a prayer, a mantra, spell work, whatever it may be, the universe is more than happy to give it to you. But it kind of throws a wrench into the plans if you're constantly thinking of like, this is how I'm going to get it and this is when. And now you set that expectation and now you're going to get disappointed because you're not allowing the universe to actually give it to you when it deems necessary. That's why I always tell people, like, when you book spell work, always like set some affirmations. And if you want me to write affirmations for you to say every single day or throughout the day when you find yourself getting stressed or fixated, obsessed with the result of the spell, like, there are affirmations that I can write for you to like kind of calm yourself down, recenter yourself, so you don't kind of lose track and you learn to reground, recenter, and trust. So we have the Frog and Lotus Metamorphosis and the Martin and Foxglove. Is that in focus? Mischief. And at the bottom of the deck we have, come on, thank you. The Bee and Pomegranate, Productivity. What's underneath of that? The Badger and Ginkgo, Healing Wounds. Yeah. When I look at mischief, what comes to my mind is when you're not paying attention to what you're doing, when you're not taking care of yourself, when moving towards a certain goal, there is room for injury. Whether that is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, there is room for injury, there is room to mess up. Now, there's always going to be that possibility, but that possibility increases when you're being a little bit more careless. I don't really see the mischief card in this reading as like, oh, you're intentionally trying to mess stuff up and, throw everything off of its rocker. No, I see this more as simply not paying attention to how you may be impacting or influencing the chain of events and the energy of everything. There has to be a change in how you approach working towards certain goals. There has to be this change in your relationship with trust, with the universe, with spirit. Or else you will continuously find yourself in this cycle of having a goal, working your ass off, not seeing any results, getting discouraged, and giving up, and then repeat. And I am 100% guilty of this. And sometimes I still struggle with it. You know, we're human. We get really caught up in the very mundane, the very human things in this world that we kind of forget that the divine does play a part in everything. And it is completely out of our control. So, my advice to you is to slow down, breathe, recenter, reground, maybe even journal. If you have any like stresses over, if you're overanalyzing any thoughts or aspects of this, like write them down. Anything that you're overthinking about, write it down. Figure it out, you know? Try to understand the root of the problem, because again, this will only continue to keep you stagnant unless you actually do something about it. But you are strong. You are capable. You have the right idea in mind. The Eight of Pentacles, like the approach you're taking in terms of action will work, is working, but you've created a block for yourself because, again, you're so fixated on the timing of it all. And it really feels like the timing specifically as well. But yeah, other than that, we'll say this is just a collective reading. Take it with a grain of salt. Take what resonates, leave what does not. And if you would like a personal reading, again, everything on my website is 45% off. Use code, I almost said it again. Use code for YULE45, Jesus Christ, to get 45% off any bookings that are $50 or more. You will receive an exclusive code to get a certain percentage off for the first 2 months of the year. I am thinking about extending that and just making it like the first half of the year, because I like spoiling y'all a little bit. But yeah, that is going on until December 25th. So yeah, other than that, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time of day it is when you are watching this. And blessed be.